TV soap news and spoilers today. We dive into a storyline that has captivated Days of Our Lives viewers, one that could spell the end for one of the show's most beloved characters, John Black. Could John's potential demise be connected to the sinister past involving the imposter Abigail, or rather, the woman posing as her, and the dangerous Clyde Weston? Join us as we unravel the details of this dramatic story and explore how it might lead to John's tragic end. As fans know, the revelation that the woman posing as Abigail Devereaux is not the real Abigail has already sent shockwaves through Salem. The mystery began to unravel when Steve Johnson, after knocking out the man named Mark, started piecing together the puzzle. Steve informed Chad DiMera about the imposter masquerading as his late wife, Abigail, and shared his suspicions about the DNA test results being tampered with. Kayla Brady, working behind the scenes, is running a new DNA test to confirm their worst fears. Steve tells Chad that Mark had interfered with the original test results, making it appear as though the imposter was Abigail. At that moment, reality hit Chad like a freight train. His beloved Abigail was truly gone. The woman who had returned to Salem, the one he had tried to reconnect with, was nothing more than a stranger. The grief is palpable, but so is the rage. Chad, now more determined than ever, demands answers from the imposter. He wants the truth, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to get it. The confrontation between Chad and the woman posing as Abigail is tense. Chad, heartbroken and furious, demands to know why she would deceive him and everyone in Salem. The imposter hesitates, but ultimately reveals the truth. Her real name is Kat, and her story is far darker than anyone could have imagined. She explains that Clyde Weston, one of the most feared criminals in Salem, is the mastermind behind her deception. According to Kat, Clyde threatened to kill her mother if she didn't marry Chad and transfer his assets to him. It was all a carefully orchestrated plan by Clyde to secure power and wealth, using Kat as a pawn in his twisted game. Chad, still reeling from the betrayal, asks the obvious question: why should he believe anything she says? After all, she's been lying to him since the moment she arrived in Salem. But Kat, visibly shaken, reveals something that no one expected. She confesses that her real name is Kat, short for Katharina, and she was named after her mother, who also happens to be named Katharina. This revelation changes everything, especially for Steve, who immediately recognizes the significance of her confession. Steve knows all too well who Katharina is. The name brings back memories of a long-buried secret, one that connects to none other than John Black. Years ago, John was involved in a mission that supposedly ended with Katharina's death. But according to Kat, her mother didn't die. She survived and ended up in the hands of Clyde Weston. This bombshell revelation leaves Steve and Chad stunned. If Katharina is still alive, and if she's connected to Clyde, then the danger is far from over. This revelation could have massive implications for John Black's fate. As viewers will recall, John was recently kidnapped, and while it was initially believed to be a random act of violence, this new information suggests that Clyde may have been behind it all along. If Clyde has been holding Katharina hostage all these years, it's entirely possible that John's abduction was part of a larger scheme to cover up the truth. Could John's kidnapping have been an attempt to silence him, to prevent him from discovering that Katharina is still alive? And if that's the case, could John's looming death be connected to Clyde's vendetta? Clyde is no stranger to murder and manipulation, and if John stands in the way of his plans, there's no doubt he would go to any length to eliminate him. The possibility that John's life is at risk because of his past with Katharina and Clyde's involvement casts a shadow over the entire storyline. What once seemed like an isolated kidnapping now feels like a piece of a much larger, more sinister puzzle. As we look ahead to what might come next, one thing is certain. This storyline has the potential to be one of the most tragic and explosive in Days of Our Lives history. John Black has been a pillar of strength and heroism in Salem for decades, and the idea that his death could be tied to a long-forgotten mission and the resurfacing of Katharina raises the stakes higher than ever. For Chad, this revelation leaves him torn between grief for Abigail and the shocking truth about the woman who has been posing as her. Can he trust Kat's story about Clyde? Will he believe her claim that her mother, Katharina, was a victim of Clyde's evil schemes? And most importantly, will Chad seek justice for Abigail's death, even if it means confronting one of the most dangerous men in Salem? And for Steve, the realization that Katharina might still be alive raises haunting questions about his and John's past. If Katharina survived, what other secrets from that mission might come to light? And more importantly, can Steve stop Clyde before he claims John's life in his twisted pursuit of revenge? As the pieces of this intricate and dangerous puzzle fall into place, we're left with more questions than answers. Will John's story come to a tragic end at the hands of Clyde Weston? Or will Steve and Chad uncover the truth in time to save John from his impending doom? The tension is building, and this storyline promises to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. What do you think, Days fans? Is John's kidnapping part of Clyde's sinister plan? And could his death be the final consequence of this twisted story? Will Chad and Steve be able to stop Clyde before it's too late? Let us know your thoughts, and stay tuned for more updates as this intense storyline continues to unfold. Our TV channel Soap News and Spoilers is the place for those who want to know how the Salem story goes, as well as great Days of Our Lives updates and news. So subscribe to our channel to get what you want. Bye-bye.